29th of October, President SAMIA Suluhu Hassan crowned herself with a victory of 97% of the vote after silencing the very people who challenged her. And when citizens rose up, especially the young, they were met with bullets, brutality, and a blockade on truth. Hundreds killed, hundreds injured, hundreds arrested, entire country living in fear. Let us say his name clearly. Tundu Lissu, the opposition leader charged with treason, locked away simply because he exercised his democratic right to run for elections. And his imprisonment is a broader assault on democracy in Tanzania that is taking away all the promises to the Tanzanian people of their freedom. And to the Tanzanian people, we have heard you. We are on your side. This House has chosen to stand by you.
On November 26th, the European Parliament did what the African Union refused to do. The same Europeans we accuse of meddling stood up and called out state-sponsored murder in Tanzania, while our own African leaders, sat in their palaces silent as protecting a dictator's 98% election victory with their cowardly silence. This is the bitter truth.
What happened before, during and after the elections in Tanzania was regrettably no surprise. This was not an irregularity, but the systematic destruction of democratic competition. These elections were marred by state-sponsored political repression, targeted abductions, and manipulation. The outcome was decided well before the 29th of October. It began with the suffocation of civic space and the silencing of free media. It continued with the banning of political assemblies and opposition parties, and it became undeniable with the imprisonment of nearly every leading opposition representative, above all the leader of Chadema, Mr. Tundu Lissu. For nearly 250 days, my personal friend Tundu Lissu has endured solitary confinement, possibly facing a death sentence simply for demanding free and fair elections. But this is not just about one individual fate. This is the textbook example of how an authoritarian regime weaponizes the law to eliminate its opponents. On election day and the hours that followed, the regime showed its true colors when the internet was shut down, when protesters were beaten, shot, abducted, and jailed. Madam Commissioner, I call on the European Commission and I call on the European External Action Service not to slip back into business as usual. I will spare you the diplomatic language used in recent statements, but the tone was certainly not as clear as it should have been. Tanzania's continued pivot from the rule of law, reform and good governance demands a genuine assessment of our bilateral relationship. Colleagues, if we truly stand for democracy and human rights, we cannot stop at words. Let us use every tool at our disposal to hold those in power accountable. Tomorrow, this House will send an unmistakable message. All EU funds channeled through state-controlled entities must be frozen immediately. The European Union must not use its fund to subsidize oppression. The time to act is now. All political prisoners must be released immediately and with no conditions. Urgently required is an independent and credible investigation into all killings, abductions and enforced disappearances. The great people of Tanzania, they deserve new, free and credible elections. Thank you, and free Tundu Lissu now.
Imagine, Wakili, I would not let you leave this place without... I want you to inject the African Union.
You know...
How can the West be defending Tanzania?
In the region,
and African Union is quiet.
I'll say first this. SADC took a good position.
Yes.
The SADC observers were very clear. There are no elections in Tanzania.
Absolutely.
The AU Observer Mission took a very clear position. There were no elections in Tanzania.
Yes.
Whatever happened didn't meet the thresholds of the AU Charter on elections. But there's somebody sitting in
the chairman.
Addis Ababa. That one with
The chairman congratulated Samia
congratulates
Suluhu before
and
the
has
report
not
was
even
out.
commented on the issues, the atrocities being committed against the people of Tanzania. Who does it represent? That man is as cursed to the continent. Because you cannot be saying that I'm the chairman of the commission, you are there to represent Africans, but when fellow Africans are being killed by a rogue regime that has taken over their sovereignty, you are responsible to congratulate that regime and not speak on the atrocities. You are now following Tanzania more on the EU Parliament than we are following at the AU. Where is the Pan-African Parliament to talk about this?
Imagine.
This brotherhood nonsense that legacy politicians have put upon themselves to undermine the people of the continent must come to an end. And it's not surprising now if you notice, for example, the many coups that are happening in the coup belt in Africa.
Guinea-Bissau,
and
I think
people
it was
are
yesterday.
cheering. The residents of Africa, the citizens of Africa are cheering the coup plotters. Why? Because they've lost faith in the legacy politicians and the institutions of governance that they've set up to oversee how their self-actualization is realized. So maybe that becomes now an attractive alternative. Whereas we hope that we should always be within the parameters of the law, and you have elections to be the avenue through which sovereignty is donated, not guns. But there's no difference now, if you ask me, between what Samia Suluhu is doing in Tanzania and a military junta forcefully taking over. So if you are going to condemn the military that has taken over in Guinea-Bissau, you must condemn Samia Suluhu and say,
and meanwhile,
Samia Suluhu, you are now called Idi Amin Mama, junta leader. You are junta. And we are suspending you from the AU.
Yeah. Because these other countries have been suspended from the AU.
Yes. So why is Tanzania still a member of the AU?
Imagine.
They should put pressure on Tanzania and say, no,
and
you are
first
not
of
welcome
all,
to the AU.
The AU should realize they represent Africa.
In fact, not Africa. They represent Africans.
Africans.
The people of the continent.
Exactly.
Not people who are occupying those offices.
Exactly. So if a Tanzanian dies, it is in your best interest to address.
Yes. And here you are talking of
that a
not
Kenyan,
less
a
than
Tanzanian,
5,000 Tanzanians. Not dying out of a natural catastrophe.
Honestly, they have lost
dying
credibility.
in the hands of weapons, guns that can be traced. And AU is sitting quiet. In fact, it will get to a point where that institution, the African people should say, you don't represent us. Even if they come to participate in affairs in your countries, they should be chased.
Yeah.
Because they cannot be cheering atrocities.
They cannot.
And turning a blind eye to the plight of the African man.
And now, Samia Suluhu and her administration, that of course it's an illegal administration.
A junta.
Junta.
There's a junta.
Okay.
The junta in Tanzania.
These are your words.
The junta in Tanzania. I am saying it here. The junta in Tanzania.
Junta in Tanzania.
Welcome back, people. Hope that you're doing good, and try to show you what is happening, what is going on. But Africans, my good brothers and sisters from Africa, let's try to be realistic about some things. You know, we have African Union here today. We have SADC. We have ECOWAS. And we have many other bodies today in Africa which were meant to solve the problems of Africa whenever it arises. But today something different is happening. You know, EU Parliament, European Union Parliament, it's located in Brussels, in Belgium, 1,000 miles away from Africa. But today, this is one of the institutions today that has come in to engage with the matters that is affecting Africa. Not because maybe they're interested with the African or the Tanzanian political issues, but they are only coming in because of the massacres that happened in that country. EU has only come in this because of what happened. Thousands of lives being taken away. Thousands of innocent souls of the Africans who are only going on the street to ask for the change, to ask for the freedom, to ask for justice, and to ask for the electoral board commission of the country of Tanzania. But what happened? They never returned to their homes. They never returned to their families. Today, the country is still mourning. The parents are still in pain of their children, of their sons, of their daughters Today, some families have lost their breadwinners, their fathers, their mothers, because of just one person. Reason being, she's just fighting to secure her position as the head of state. Now, before we come to judge, I cannot disagree the fact that Europe has exploited Africa, has caused many deaths, has caused many damages in Africa. We know that. But sometimes you have to look into the factors. We have to look into the facts because they have caused all this in Africa. We know. It was in the process of colonization and everything. We know. But today, all that we are concerned is about the life that are being taken away by our own people, by our own leaders, just because of the greediness, just because of the selfishness, just because of the individualism, just because of their own personal interest. This is what we are concerned. We are having African Union here in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. It has never once come out and tried to speak about all that happened in the country of Tanzania. I came across a video of Julius Malema and he was saying clearly that there is nothing like African Union. These are just the bodies that are being led by individuals, by a group of people who are there to, a group of older people who are there to protect themselves, to protect their own evils that they are committing to the Africans. And this is true. Because you cannot tell me today that since this incident happened in the country of Tanzania, then AU have just lacked a little time to come and address these issues, to come and engage with these matters so that the people of Tanzania can get justice that they deserve, so that the country of Tanzania can be able to restore their peace, and the people who have been healed, who have been wounded, can get hope to heal their wounds.
No such a thing. AU, there's no such a thing. It's a group of old people who protect each other. They don't protect the interest of their people. It's a club. It's a gentleman club. They don't care. They don't call each other out. So they are unable to say, you are wrong here, you are wrong there, and therefore this is how we need to fix it. And the way forward is that the youth must take politics serious. The youth must participate in politics. The youth must lead. Because most young people have left politics into the hands of old people who have nothing to do with that. AU has got a plan called 2063. And those people won't be there in 2063. That's why they can say 2063. They won't take responsibility. So we, the youth, who must stop suffering from political apathy and take the future into our own hands.
Today, it's like they have given authority to the dictators in Africa to do whatever they want or they feel they want to do. They have given okay and authority to all these dictative leaders who are coming in to power with their own interest, but not the interest of the people. So I'm so surprised. And welcome back. This is the Black History. We are here to uncover the hidden truth because this is our mandatory to do and no one else. Today I've come across the videos of this kind of Tanzanians, of the people who have been doing about this, and I've come across the comment sections of the video of the EU Parliament as how they were speaking about how they were addressing about the Tanzanian incidents. And Tanzanians themselves are coming out to accuse them to leave their matters because they call themselves, they say that Tanzania is a sovereignty country. So first of all, my people, Africans, you know, it's so surprising to see a Tanzanian citizens giving such that kind of a speech or address, because it means that that's the person that is not concerned about all that's happening. That the one of the person who, or the people who are so blind they cannot be able to see all that is happening. Those are the people who don't feel all that is happening. Those are the people who have that heart of the concerned people, like they said, the president. Because if you are having that humanity in you, if you feel the pain, if you feel the loss, you cannot come out and speak such thing. Because we have to differentiate between the sovereignty and human rights or human crime. When we speak about sovereignty, we are all fighting about sovereignty. I always do the videos in another channel called Kenyan Explorer, whereby we speak about the sovereignty of Africa and how we have to relate with the people from the West and Europe. But now I am speaking here today for this because we are speaking about the life. We are talking about the life matters. The people who have lost their life without a valid reason, just because there is someone who is fighting to secure her position. And now you are coming to speak about the sovereignty. You have to differentiate about this. How can you have the sovereignty in the country while the people that is supposed to be fighting and protecting this sovereignty are no longer alive? So this sovereignty, whom do you want to give this sovereignty if the people that are supposed to be getting this sovereignty are not there? How can you call yourself a sovereign when the people of your country are losing life every day? So this clearly gives a clear picture of how weakness we are, how weakness and useless African institutions are, like African Union. African Union, immediately after the victory of the Tanzanian president, they came out through its chairman or president to congratulate the victory of Tanzanian president, Madam SAMIA. At the same time, people were crying, people were dying, people were being jailed, people were being abducted, and the Africans were reacting about this, but they came out to congratulate him, to congratulate her. So that is what mean the weakness of the African institutions. They were never meant to help Africa. They were never meant to help Africa. That's what you have to know.
The African Union, which is weak, says the right things and does the wrong things 9 out of 10 times. And what are the critical areas in which we are weak? We are weak politically. So we have a weak continent because the spirit of Pan-Africanism disappeared.
Because it was meant to help Africa. If it was, then today the country of Tanzania or the government of Tanzania would have been nullified. Today, EU is calling upon the release of Tundu Lissu, the chief opposition leader of this country, and fight for the reform of the electoral commission and organize for the new election. But the AU came out to congratulate the highest percentage secured election a leader, SAMIA, after all that she committed.
But there's somebody sitting in
The chairman.
Addis Ababa. That one with
The chairman congratulated Samia
congratulates
Suluhu before
and
the
has
report
not
was
even
out.
commented on the issues, the atrocities being committed against the people of Tanzania. Who does it represent? That man is as cursed to the continent. Because you cannot be saying that I'm the chairman of the commission. You are there to represent Africans. But when fellow Africans are being killed by a rogue regime that has taken over their sovereignty, you are responsible to congratulate that regime and not speak on the atrocities. You are now following Tanzania more on the EU Parliament than we are following at the AU. Where is the Pan-African Parliament to talk about this?
Now, if we as Africans we cannot be able to come and help ourselves, whom do we want to come and help us? We always come out to say that we are not able to develop because of some people, because of the people from Europe and West. We are not, our leaders are coming out to explain how they are working under the tight agreements. We are doing all this because we always claim of being colonized. That's the reason as to why we are not able to stand by ourselves, to protect ourselves, and to do a lot of things. But now, if these people that we are accusing are the same people who are today coming out, despite all they have did to Africa, they had to get the time to come and explain something or address something concerning all these incidents that happened. While we, the African leaders, all the presidents are just quietly seated in their offices, watching all that happened, some of them congratulating, some of them speaking or giving their statements, supporting the leader, the concerned president. And now we are here still complaining and accusing and blaming other people for the African problem. Then this means that we have still a long way to go. We still have a long way to go. If we cannot show the sovereignty, we cannot show the love and the support to our own continent. Because I believe that today, the Nigerian problem is my business. The Tanzanian problem is my business. I am a Kenyan, but Ugandan problem is my business because I believe in the unity. I don't believe in the borders. I don't believe in border issues. I don't believe in differences in our countries, in our cultures, in our tribal. I believe that we are one as Africans. That's why we always come out to achieve and advocate this agenda of African unity. That's why we always come speak about the agenda and visions of Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, because they were fighting for this. And if their agenda would have been achieved many years ago, all that long time, from the time they come up with, then I believe today all this nonsense that we're talking about could have not been there. This all is happening because of the failed Africans to achieve the agenda of Kwame Nkrumah, of the unity of Africa. Today, African leaders are fighting to secure their own position because today Tanzanian president is fighting to secure her position. He don't care about all that is happening. He don't care about the people who are losing life. She don't care about anything because she's fighting to her own country. She's fighting to secure her own country. But if we would have been fighting for the one country, for the one Africa, all this would have not been there. So until we achieve the agenda of Africa's unity, African problem will never end. And more will come. When every time we experience coup d'etat happening in Africa, it is because of African leaders. Because these are the young military leaders who are leading or protecting their country at their cost. They are doing their best to make sure that their people and their country are in a safer side. But their leaders are the ones who are taking and unaliving their people. So how do you expect a military leader, a chief military leader, to protect you, protect your people, at the same time you are the one coming to unalive the people that this military are protecting? That's the reasons to why the military is rising in Africa. The coup d'etat is rising in Africa. Because these are the humans. They feel bad by seeing how the people that they are protecting, their own leaders are the ones who are coming to unalive them. So they feel like it's better to have these people in their hands so that they can be able and they can know that they are protecting the people, and the people who are protecting are safe than being in other people's hands who don't care and who don't feel that humanity, who don't feel that a burden of protecting these people. Because this military goes through a lot by protecting my life, by protecting your life, and at the same time protecting our leaders' life, and at the same time those leaders, the one coming to unalive and to take the life of us as the citizens. This is very bad. So this is the time that we as Africans, we have to wake up. Whenever we have to fight for something, whenever something arises in our countries, we have to show up. We have to show support. We have to address so as to make people know that they are doing what is supposed to be done. I will not take much of your time, kindly. consider subscribing. This is the Africa's, this is the Black History. I am doing the best to make sure that I deliver to what you deserve to hear from me. And let's continue moving together so as to spread positivity and strengthen Africa's unity. May you be blessed, Roger, from I love and appreciate you. You are doing great. And let's meet on the next episode.